Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to learn how to automate the process to take a MySQL dump from a sample script. So we're going to log in into our remote host. Cool. And in here, we're going to create a sample script, maybe at /temp/script.sh. And in here, we're going to start with the classic /bin/bash. And now remember that the only one thing that we need to do is to type the commands that we use to take the MySQL backup. So let's look for that command in here in our container. It should be here. Cool. This is in here. So let's copy this and let's modify our script again. Let's paste that in here. And now we want these values to be variable. So for example, I want this dv host to be a variable. So let's put it like this. I want the password to be a variable. So let's put it like this. Let's put like dv password. I want the name of the database to be dynamic as well. So let's put like dv name in here. And this is pretty cool, right? So remember that these variables now are not defined, so we need to define them, and we're going to use bash parameters. So we're going to do something like this. We're going to say that the dv host, it means this variable, it's going to be equals to the first parameter that our script is going to get. So the password is going to be the second. I can actually copy and paste this. The second parameter, the password is going to be the second parameter, and the dv name, for example, is going to be the third parameter that our script is going to receive. Third. Pretty cool, right? So let's test it. Let's give it executable permissions to our script, temp script.sh, and if we run it, temp /script.sh, this is going to give an error because we need to define. First, let's look to this script in here. We need to define the host name, which is going to be the dv host, remember, the dv password, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the dv name, which is test dv. So let's hit enter, and it doesn't complain. Cool. So if you take a look on your db.sql file, you are going to have your file there. So normally in backups, this is not good to have a file with the same name, for example, like dv.sql, because normally you would need to know the date in which that backup was taken. So let's modify this. If you take a look to the date command, you can actually give this command pre-formatted output. It means that you can give it the format that you want. So for example, if you type plus percentage and capital H, you're going to have the hour, the current time. If then you give it something like percentage %m, you're going to have the minute. And then if you do the same for the letter S, you're going to have hour, minute, and second, which is pretty cool. Because if you execute this again and again and again, you're going to see these values changing, which is cool for backups. So let's use this command to name our resulting file. So let's copy, let's modify our temp script.sh, and we're going to say, for example, the date, it's going to be the execution of this command, right? So we want to name our file something like dv dash and then the output of the date command. Cool. So now let's look in the temp directory. We only have this one. So let's run the script again, passing all the mandatory parameters like dv host, for example. In this case, let's hit enter. Now let's look on the temp directory, and as you can see, we have the dv name, and then you have the hour, minute, and second for that. If we execute it again and you do an ls, you're going to have another file, which is pretty cool. So this is it for this video. I'll see you in the next lesson.